draws people is the results of who Jesus is in our lives. You got to think about it. Is he lifted up, or are we lifted up? Or is the building lifted up? Is it big enough? Is it bright enough this way? And when I read this, I'm going to share it with you. How does the thief on the cross fit into your theology? There was no baptism. There was no communion. There was no confirmation. There was no speaking in tongues. There was no mission trip. There was no volunteerism. And there was no church clothes. He was a thief. He couldn't even bend his knees to pray. He didn't say the sinner's prayer. He was a thief, among other things. And Jesus, he didn't take away his pain. He didn't heal his body. He didn't smite the scoffers. Yet it was a thief who walked into heaven the same hour as Jesus did. He had nothing more to offer other than the fact that he believed that Jesus was who he said he was. That's all he had. There was no spin from brilliant theologians. There was no ego or arrogance. There was no shiny lights, no haze machine, no skinny jeans, or no crafty words. There was no donuts and coffee in the lobby. Just a naked, dying man on a cross, unable to even fold his hands to pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's the simplicity of the gospel. That's what the thief had on the cross that day. He's had a belief that Jesus was who he said he was. And he asked him to remember me when you still into your prayer lives. We get it all backwards sometimes. I don't have a whole lot of problem with some of this, if we have it. But we don't have to emphasize that. That's not what we emphasize. It ain't the brilliant theologians. It's not the ego and the arrogance. It's not the lights and the haze machines and all that. It's him. What did he do? He gave his blood on an old rugged cross for all of us. He said, I am the way. And all we have to do is believe who he is. Believe who he is. And you believe him. You believe who he is. And you accept him in your heart. That's what it's about. And then your light can shine. And you, within yourself, you'll lift him up. And that's what draws all men to. We're redeemed by one thing. The blood on that old rugged cross.
Very far from the cause, loving man. He rescued me one glorious day. He brought me out, paid a debt I could not pay. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. Jesus loosed
Still I live in this foreign land. Oh, but now I'm free according to redemption's plan. Soon I'll join the golden bride of redeemed, and we'll sing the song of the angels and unseen. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. I am redeemed. I am redeemed. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. One glorious morning, folks, they'll come from every nation, from all generations, and side by side we'll march into that beautiful city called Jehovah. And in perfect harmony we get humming a new song, a song composed by God, arranged for His children. When the saved by grace approach the table of their dream, that host of heaven, they'll have to step aside, because they can't sing this song. It's a song reserved for the voices who once cried out for the Redeemer, those who's washed in the blood of the Lamb. They are redeemed. I am redeemed. I am divine. Glory, glory. Christ is mine. He's mine all to me. I am inside. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me free. Jesus loosed the chains of sin and set me
Pastor, if I can say one thing, I want to say, I feel like I should say this. When I got saved, and I got saved in a church way different than the one I grew up in. But the pastor said, find a place to kneel and pray. So I just knelt in front of the pew. That changed my life. And I just ended up in a puddle of tears, and I was just racked with tears. And I felt this hand on my shoulder and heard this sweet voice saying, thank you, Jesus, thank you. And I looked up and it was Connie Smith, but I said, thank you for what? Because I didn't know what the Lord was doing. I challenge you, you know, a lot of times people don't come forward in church or whatever, they don't always give invitations like these. But I challenge you, in the quietness of your own home, if you get on your knees and say, Lord, if you're real, I want to know you. He will meet you there. He will. He came for you. He came for all of us. That is what He came here for, to redeem us. Don't put it off. Don't let the devil block you from it. Meet your Lord today. He could come tomorrow.
What greater way to end than the words she just shared. And there may be some of you today, through their singing, their testimonies, their sharing, that the Lord has spoken to your heart. I'm just going to ask you to bow your heads. If the Lord has spoken to your heart in the quietness of this time, I'm here to pray with you, to guide you. Our deacons are. You may say, well, I don't know how to be saved, Pastor. We'll guide you through it. We'll help you through it. But the biggest thing is just what they said. Have a conversation with the Lord, admit you're a sinner, believe in knowledge, you believe in Him, confess, and give your life to Him and trust Him. If the Lord has spoken to you this morning and if you feel led to come down, I'll be here to pray with you, guide you, our deacons will. So if the Lord's spoken to you, I invite you now to come forward, or as Miss Barbara shared, right there in the pew where you're at, just kneel and do it all right there.